Hi guys, welcome. I'm Jenna, and today I'm going to be showing you my all-star go-to absolute favorite eyeshadow brushes that I use very often on here. You guys probably know most of them already. I'm going to go through and demo them for you, and we're going to do this eye look. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, but let's get started. All right, I got a request to use the Spring Magic Palette from Unearthly, so we're going to go ahead and do a look with this one also today. And then I'm also going to be using my Ensley Rain Moon Dust. I haven't got to use this one yet. It's Citrus Splash. All right, so the first brush I'm going to talk about is the Refer 27. And this is a very fluffy brush. I actually washed it last night, so it's not looking too fluffy, but once it gets used, it's really fluffy. And I like this brush. I will use it a lot in the fall time when I really want to do like a blown out look. And because the bristles, it is so big, it's going to cover more of an area on your eyelid, especially if you have smaller and hooded eyes. So you do want to watch out for that. So I'm going to tap into, I'm going to go into Full Moon, and I'm going to tap into Flourish. I really knew that name. Yeah, I'm just going to put this in here into the crease. And as you can see, it just puts a really nice light wash of color on. And then I like to start out here in the outer corner, so I'm placing the majority of the pigment down, and then I will go out into the inner corner. Very pretty color. But as you can see, it's pretty light, and it's almost hard to see. The next brush I'm going to go in with is the Cindy Grace E03, and it is the star of the show around here. I use this in pretty much every video. And now I'm going to tap in just into Flourish. And I like to use this brush for two ways. One, if I'm usually going in with like a darker color and I don't want it to get everywhere, I just want it in a certain spot, I will use it for here. And you can see I'm just tapping it. Just tapping it in there. And then I also like to use it for in the crease. So if I want a little bit more dimension in there, that's usually what I will use it for. And I'm just kind of going up under the eyebrow. It's not going to matter too much because we're going to go in with another brush in a minute. But all right, so now you can see where I went in with the really fluffy brush, how light it is on this side. And you can still see it up here. But now it's really more defined now that I went in with this brush. It's just really a nice blend. It's starting to get that nice blend going. All right, another brush that I like to use for the outer corner is the Cindy Grace. It's the E05, and it is an angled brush. See, there we go. Kind of see it's got the point up here at the top. I'm going to tap into Herbalist right here. Okay, so I like to take the angle brush and then I like to turn it to an angle. So the pointed side up here is kind of connecting to my outer corner right here. So I'm gonna turn it and angle it, and then I'm just gonna tap it. And then when I bring it down, I'm just going to push it in towards my eye. And then another reason I like this brush is now I'm going to turn it again. This is the tip, very tip of it. So I'm going to turn, so I'm just using the tip out here in my outer corner. So just kind of blending those together, but I'm just using the tip so it's not getting too much product on there. And then I also, when I start, I like to start at the bottom and get the majority of the pigment on the bottom. And then I will start tapping and then I blend in. And then as you can see, we've lost a little bit of that pink, a little bit of flourish. So I'm just going to bring that back with the E03 and blend them together. All right, the next brush I like to use is my Dose of Colors brush. These are the ones that come in their palettes. The closest thing I have in my collection is the Sydney Grace, and it's the EO4. But if I don't know if we can see on here how this is more like flat or oval, and this is more round. And that's why I like this one much better, because this one's going to blend the product out a lot more, or this one is going to put it right where I want it, and then it's going to blend it out. Yeah, I'm going to tap into Clove. I also like to pick it up just on one side of the brush. So you can see I have the pigment on this side, but this side, it doesn't hardly have any pigment at all. That way when I set it down, it's staying right where I want it. If I had it on this side, it may come out too far. And then I'm just gonna blend it. I'm just gonna do exactly how I did the green and just kind of push it in towards the eye. Keeping it just in this outer corner. The next brush I like to use is just a good old smudger brush. And I do prefer on my smudger brushes on the edges how they kind of round and taper. I have one like this. I mean, this will work also, but what I like about this one is it's not going to put as much product. You're only just going to get the product right here on the top. And if I went into this one, it's going to get product all the way across. So I like this one because it just gives me a little bit more control. And I'm going to tap into Clove. And then I'm just going to stamp it on basically. I like to run it across the lash line. Usually you bring it up just to make sure everything is nice and even. Now for the lower lash line, this is where sometimes it could be a bit different. So I'm going to do on one eye how I would do it if I want like a more of a blown out look. And then on this side, I'm going to do it more if I want like more tapered, stay where I want it type of look. So first one I'm going to go in with is the Sydney Grace EO4. And I'm going to lightly tap into Herbalist. And then I'm just going to keep this on the outer corner. So for this side, I'm going to go in with the Refer 28. It's just a really flat, rounded brush. This is also great to lay down shimmers. We're going to go into Herbalist again. And I'm just going to, again, take one side of the brush. And then the side that has all the pigment in it, I'm going to lay it up towards my eye. And I'm just going to lay it right here. And then it's pretty subtle, but you can see where I put it, it stayed right there. And then this side, because I went with a more rounded brush, it kind of blew it out a little bit more. So now I'm going to go back to this side and I'm going to blow it out even more. So I'm going to go with the Sydney Grace E13. Let me show you the difference between the 4. This is the 4 and then this is the 13. You can see they're both small, but the 13 is just a little bit bigger. Not by much, but you can just see the bristles on it are just a tad bit more. And then I'm just going to tap into Full Moon and Flourish. And then I'm just going to start in the center and come this way. And then I'm going to bring it up under this one. And then just going to kind of bring it out to blend that edge out. It's kind of hard to tell. I think I'm going to go just Flourish now. Just to bring it back a little bit more. And then to blend this side out, I'm going to go in with the Refer 02. And it's again, just like a rounded brush, but it's more thick. Let me get the other one. You can see how much more thick it is. But besides that, it's a little bit more shorter too, where this one is a little bit longer. And I'm just going to go in right in the tip and we're going to go in the same shades. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. All right. And then, I mean, it's not a big difference, but it is a little bit. You can just see this one is a little bit more blown out, or this one just stays right where you want it. Now I'm going to go in with the Ensley Rain Moon Dust in Citrus Splash. And this is what it is looking like. Cap. And for this, for the moon dust, and then there are some other shimmers sometimes I will use this brush for, and it is the Real Techniques. It is the Based Shadows brush, and it's just very fluffy, as you can see. And then it has like these tapered or like stippled brushes at the end, which really helps pick up a lot of pigment. And it's not super fluffy and it's not super firm. It's just kind of like right in the middle. Came in a 3-pack. If I can find them, I'll link them below. Sometimes when I do Amazon though, my description box gets really mad. So I'll do my best. So then I just like to tap it in here. And then I don't know if you can guys see all the shimmer that's on there. It just really helps pick up a lot of shimmer. Wow. And I always spray. That's very pretty. Almost looks like a peach undertone with so many beautiful shimmers in there. That's so pretty. I forgot. I do normally like to go down with a primer before this, but that's okay. All right, and then I do like to use these for shimmers too. So I think I'm going to tap in to to Dragonfly. Just want to add a little bit more. And then I'm going to put that right between the moon dust and that green. And also, if you did not want to use, if you do want to use the moon dust, I think these pinks, either of those pinks would probably be perfect in place of that moon dust right there. And for my last brush that I like to use, it is just a good old pencil brush. This is from, I think this is from Essence. I think it was like $1.99. So just any type of pencil brush. And I like to use this for the inner corner. Sometimes I'll just go in with my pinky if I'm really wanting like something everywhere, but we're going to use the pencil brush today. And I'm going to go in with Unearthly's Mirage. Pop that right in here. You can spray it if you want. And then I'm going to bring it down just a little right here under the eye duct. For our blush today, I'm going to go in with Bermuda Rose from RMS. And then I'm going to go in with Strawberry Cheesecake from Sydney Grace for our cream blush. All right, guys, I'm going to go finish this look up and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I absolutely love the way this turned out. Let me tell you what I finished off with. My obsession with Plum from Persona is just like it this year. I absolutely love this one. I went in on the outer corner with this one. For the rest of the lower lash line, I went in with Baby Pink from Moya Cosmetics. For the blender, I went in with Curious from Essence and blended it out with BFF from ColourPop. And then I went in with M3 from Mob Cosmetics. I do want to say, if you don't have the Spring Magic palette from Unearthly, and some other palettes that I have that you could probably get a similar look with, Secret Garden from Bella Beauty Bar. Oh boy, I have some missing. I got a project going on, guys. But definitely got the greens and the pinks and the shimmers. Does not disappoint. So I think easily you can get one with this one. Also, Flower Moon from Ensley Rain. You got that deep green, some pinks, the browns, and these shimmers. You know, I've really been using this one a lot more this year. I look so forward to using this one. And then the Strawberry Moon one. Those are, I'm glad I haven't done my ranking yet, because there's some palettes that just really move around on that ranking that kind of surprised me. Another one is Groovy Garden from Ensley Rain. I think you could get a nice, really muted eye look with this. You got that dark green, that beautiful rose, browns, and then beautiful shimmers. And then also Lands of Enchantment. Got a nice dark green and then some pink. So you get more of a pastel, but I think it would still be pretty. Just use your palettes, guys. Enjoy your collection, shop your stash. That's what it's all about. All right, guys, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you have a palette that you would like me to use, also let me know. And I think that's about it. I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope to see you again. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.